Okay, I'm live. I tell you, YouTube has made going live very, very difficult. That is what it is. All right. House cleaning. Please subscribe if you can. Please share if you can. And let me turn my car off. I am not driving like I typically do in my drive times because I want to be able to cover a few things with you. House cleaning, no fake titles, no bait and switch, none of that here. I consume a lot of news. I sift through the BS and then I post the meat after having spit out the bones and the fat. I know a lot of people like fat, but I don't like fat. That's something somebody that was close to me taught me about, when it came to dealing with preachers that were imperfect, as they all are. Eat the meat, spit out the bone. Okay? Next thing, hey man, if you get something out of this, hey young woman, if you get something out of this, look in the info box and, you know, do something with coffee for a brother. It's all explained in there. So let's get. Oh, I think I did say subscribe. Yeah, I did say that. Let's get into this. First thing I want to talk about is no matter what you fix with Democrats, it ain't enough. It just ain't enough. They're always going to find something new. What have they found new? Well, Trump is proving that he is not a warmonger. He is not about starting wars. It was him that set the stage for ending our involvement in Afghanistan. It was him who criticized us going into Iraq to begin with. And now he's trying to end the war that's going over in Afghanistan. And trust me, he's going to deal with the situation over there with 1948 Israel as well. So being that they can no longer call Trump a warmonger, if you were paying attention, you remember when they said that Trump couldn't be trusted with the codes to the nuclear button. Y'all remember that? That Trump would start World War III. Now, if you was paying attention, you ought to remember that. What's the other thing I got here on my list to talk about? Zeke and Ukraine. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a history lesson, something that you don't get from everybody else. So there's this thing called the Monroe Doctrine, which essentially says a country is entitled to do whatever is necessary to protect their borders. That's why we almost went to war when John Kennedy was president against Russia. Russia was trying to put bases in Cuba. We weren't going to have it. And guess what? Russia removed what they had put in Cuba. So what has Putin been saying all along? Now, it don't matter whether you love Putin or hate Putin, but Putin is still president of Russia. And Putin was doing what was necessary to protect his borders. So what do we do? Hey man, Clinton allowed, and I'm backing up on some things and moving forward so that you understand you can't blame Trump for any of this. Where it started was because of what the United States was doing. And I called it old world European imperialism. All right. Um, it was Bush that allowed Russia to take over a country. It was Clinton that allowed Russia to take over a country. It was Biden that allowed Russia to take over Ukraine. Well, what did Trump do? Trump ain't did a damn thing. Under Trump, Russia ain't took over anything. But it was the United States and their policy of expansion, which again is born out of old world European imperialism. Let's go and take over everything. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, then research what has happened with the Native Americans here in this country. How we arrived here, all right, the pilgrims, and which ended up 13 colonies, and which ended up expansion across the United States. Go look it up. It is what it is. Old world European expansion. And Europeans, and I'm talking about white people, this is what they have been doing. Hey, take a look at Africa. Where they are not doing this at is in Russia and in China. Okay, they tried it in Mexico. Hell, but all we ended up getting was those southern California, New Mexico, et cetera, et cetera. You can go look all of that up. But that is not the point about what I'm talking about now. But this is what that is all about. All right. How much can we take over? That's what got us the war in Ukraine. Because Putin warned them. He told them, Ukraine will not be a part of NATO. But that's what they were trying to do. And they wanted a war. You heard Trump say, you're battling or you are playing with World War III and you don't have the cards. And Trump ain't trying to do war. Nobody can prove that Trump is a warmonger by his actions. Period. But that is what they wanted. So Trump is saying it's not going to happen under my watch. I am going to end these wars. He's going to do the same thing over there with 1948 Israel. Now I'll do another video about 1948 Israel, but this ain't the time right now. So all these idiots you see talking about I stand with Ukraine. Let me explain something to the Negroes that stand with Ukraine. When the bombing started, all of the Negroes over in Ukraine were not allowed to get on the buses or the train exiting the country. They basically said women and children first, but what they were talking about were white women and children. All right. Now, why not the men? Because J.D. Vance exposed it on in that press conference. He said, haven't you been conscripting your male citizens and sending them to the front line? Well, that's the reason why they weren't there. But the Negroes had to walk to the front line because of racism. But then we got that moron, all right, Raphael Warnock, the preacher that said that there's more than one way to heaven, taking a photo op with Zelensky. Now, I don't know why Negroes don't understand this kind of stuff. They just don't. There was a brother, meaning I'm talking about Negro, that approached me and said, yeah, man, the orange guy is going to cause inflation, blah, 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 blah. So my response was, well, when the orange guy was president the first time around, inflation was 1%. So if he didn't cause it to go up then, why is he going to cause it to go up now? He's going to cause it to go down. And I said, I have a video, if you want to know the truth, that I'm going to send to you, which explains the tariff situation. But putting all of that aside, who told you what you're talking about? Well, of course, he got it from the news, but he got it from the media that hates Trump, which is never going to tell the truth about Trump. And I'm going to give you the perfect example. This moron, Al Green. He did what he did so that he would get an interview, so that he could promote the lie that they have been putting forth. And I lost a very good friend that told me, don't reach out to me unless it's an emergency. Why? Because she believes, because I voted for Trump, I voted to hurt her when it comes to um, Social Security, because she's receiving Social Security. There is absolutely no proof that Trump has said, I am going to cut Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid. But that is what this moron, Al Green, said, and this false preacher, Raphael Warnock, stood and took a photo op with, to let us know that he stands with Zeke. And again, Raphael Warnock will tell you that there is more than one way to heaven, when Christ said there's only one. But Negroes don't pay attention to this. And with Zeke, Negroes are not paying attention to what Zeke did to Negroes when they were trying to escape Ukraine, or what segregation Jimmy Crow Joe did to Negroes when he was in power. Y'all following what I'm saying? So I'm gonna close out with a couple of things. One, the media cannot be trusted. They hate Donald Trump. You can't believe nothing that they say. And I told the guy that approached me, and it was a civil conversation, I said, man, you cannot trust anything that you hear from the media. I talked to a brother this morning, and I mentioned his name. His name is Floyd. And he told me something that Trump was signing an executive order for. I said, well, where did you hear it from? Well, I got it from the media. I say, well, did you look to see if Trump said it out of his mouth, words out of his mouth? Well, no, but, it was a new. I said, okay, no. Did you look to see if that information was anywhere else related to what Trump said? And he said, no. I say, then don't believe it, because all you're doing is regurgitating. Hey, y'all, I'm getting ready to use the Sunday school word, so go ahead and close your ears. Then you're listening to bullshit. You got to vet everything that you hear from the media if you're going to listen to it. Now, what is it that I do for you? Like I told you, I consume news, and I post it on a dozen Facebook pages, and I need to do more YouTube videos to bring this information to you. But enough people, hey man, they just don't show enough appreciation. So, y'all might get one once a week, but I would like to do them more often, but I need to know that it's worth my time, because my time is valuable to me. I consume the bullshit, and I spit out the bones and the fat, and then I come back with you with the information that you can count on has been verified and is true. Because you can't trust these AI videos that everybody is putting out there. You cannot trust anybody from the media, period. Fox will give you what I've been observing. They will give you exact quotes from Trump. The only problem is a lot of times is missing context, and it only pisses people off. So when I share a screenshot from Fox, I add commentary to it so that you know what's happening. So that's where we are with that. So here's what I'm going to close out with. The big, beautiful bill is supposed to be coming out soon. Johnson said March, and signed into law in April. I believe that the rhinos will rear their heads, and those things that Trump wants in the bill, they will try to stop. What am I talking about? I'm just going to give you the top three that Trump talked about. No taxes on Social Security, no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime. When that happens, y'all need to be ready. You need to be prepared. And now let me tell you about Georgia. Here in Georgia, we have we have 9 Republican representatives. One just got elected because he was endorsed by Trump. Marjorie Taylor Greene, let me get to that image. Marjorie Taylor Greene has got a great voting record. Hers is 97%. Then we have Andrew Clyde, who's 90%. But the guy that Trump just endorsed, who got elected, has no voting record yet. His name is Brian Jack. But let me tell you these other ones, and they need to be primary. And I'm about supporting anybody that wants to run against these individuals. And you need to do the same thing for your state. I get this information from the newamerican.com/freedom index. Anybody less than 85% needs to be primary. Now, if they're 80% and above, they are a go along, get along politician. They will do what the other politicians will do, so you don't necessarily need to go after them. But I'm going to run down this list. District 1, Buddy Carter, 59%. He needs to go. Brian Jack, District 3, no record yet. We will see. Rich McCormick, 78. Yeah, he needs to go. He's below 90%. We got Austin Scott, 63%. He needs to go. We've got Andrew Clyde, 90%. Leave him alone. We've got Mike Collins, 88%. He's a go along, get along. We'll leave him alone. We got Barry Loudermilk, 74%. We need to get rid of him. We got Rick Allen, 65%. He needs to go. And we got Marjorie Taylor Greene, 97%. She definitely needs to stay because they vote with the Constitution. So I'm going to stop it right here. Remember what I said. Share the video. All right. Pass it on so that people understand. All right. And I'm also in the info box, I'm going to put a link to the video that explains tariffs so that you will know what's actually going on and how the tariffs work and what Trump's plan is. So you can go there as well. Also in the info box, how you can bless me. All right. Because I need all of your blessings. Okay. And then I need you to subscribe. All right. YouTube constantly goes through, sifts through, and reduces your subscription. I was at 70,000.